In this video, I will introduce chart elements. So let's take a look at this column chart. If I move my mouse over the chart, you'll see a pop-up that says Chart Area. This entire area here is the chart area. You'll notice if I move my mouse into this area here, this is called the Plot Area. This is where your numerical data is graphically represented. However, if I position my mouse right over the top of one of these lines, the vertical value axis will show. And the value axis just helps guide your eye over here to the values that are being represented. Column charts typically plot your data along two axes. You have the y-axis here, and you have the x-axis here. The y-axis typically represents numerical values, but not always, and the x-axis usually represents the category of information or the series of information. For example, all of the blue data points are representing the series for Washington. This area down here is called your legend, and as you can see, the legend shows the different categories and what these colors are representing. It's important to understand that each individual column that is listed here is representing a specific data point. So for example, Washington first quarter, this is 2,250 as you can see here, but it is this value listed right here. So this is the data point right here for this value right here. The other thing that I want to draw your attention to is that if you click on your chart, you'll notice over here this little plus symbol. This is your Chart Elements button, and if you click on the chart elements, it allows you to add and remove the chart elements that you see here in this area. So for example, if I click Access Titles, you'll notice that it brings in a title over here and a title right here. I could simply click on top of the title and type in what I want that to be. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that. And this time what I want you to notice is that if I want to simply add one of the access titles, I can come over to this little arrow and I can choose which access title I want to add. So maybe I want the primary vertical access, and you'll notice it way over to the left there next to the values. Or if I want to add the primary horizontal axis, you'll notice it underneath the x-axis or the horizontal axis. The next one that I want to draw your attention to is right here where it says Data Labels. If I click on that, you'll notice that it will automatically insert data labels, so it shows the value for each column. Now, depending on the number, it might not look very good to have the data label showing in this way. So I can uncheck that. I can go over to my arrow and I can select where I want those values to be. And sometimes it just doesn't look good at all. In this case, I wouldn't use the data labels. However, if I moved my chart or I resized my chart, it might look just fine. You can also insert a data table that shows underneath, and this data table is the same values that you see here. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that. So this is the area that you can add and remove chart elements, but I also want to point out that if you select your chart and you go up here to where it says Chart Tools, Design tab, you'll have a button over here that says Add Chart Element, and you can add and remove your chart elements in the same way over here. So remember the data labels, I can come here and I could choose data labels, and again I have those same options. And then lastly, if you're ever unsure about the name of one of the chart elements, you can go to Chart Tools, Format tab, and then right here in this box over here that says Chart Elements, if you click the drop down arrow, you can select the name of a chart element, and then Excel will select that chart element for you. So if you're not sure what the name of this is, you just come on up here and you can start clicking around and it starts selecting the various chart elements for you. And that's it. That's my basic overview of Excel chart elements.